Hey, ready, steady, free-fromers. Today we are cooking cinnamon rolls. Now these aren't going to be like your normal cinnamon rolls that you get from the bakery. You are not going to get the fluffiness and the pull apart and all of that business because there's no yeast in it, there's no elasticity with the gluten. So we've got a different variation that's being made with ground almonds, almond flour. So we have a different recipe, but it's still the same yummy taste of those cinnamon rolls, just a different texture. So let's get going and get everything together. Here we have 3 cups of ground almonds or almond flour. So that's the 3 cups in there. So what we're going to add in is about half a teaspoon of salt, and we're going to go just under half a teaspoon. And I always guess this, you can obviously more accurately measure it. But if you are going to accurately measure it, then go for just under half a teaspoon. We're going to put all the dry ingredients in this bowl first and then mix them up. We have then a 1/4 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. So we're going to combine that. So we've got almonds, salt and bicarbonate of soda. And we'll give that a nice mix in this bowl. There we are. Okay, now we're going to switch bowls and we're going to do the wet ingredients. Now here I have some coconut oil which I have melted, and the coconut oil is a 1/4 cup of coconut oil. Now into the coconut oil, we don't want it to be too hot, you want it to have cooled a bit because we're going to put the eggs, and we don't want the eggs to cook when we put them in the coconut oil, so make sure it's at room temperature. Now you could, if you wanted to, use melted butter if you can do butter, or you could use ghee instead as well, or you could use an even oil like sunflower oil. I wouldn't use olive oil, it's got more of a savoury taste to it, so go with one of those other oils or a fat that's melted. All right, now into that we are going to add, first of all I'm going to add the honey because that will also help to cool down the coconut oil. Now we're going for 2 tablespoons of honey. Give that a little bit of a mix. Okay, and now I'm going to add 2 large eggs. There's 1, and there's 2. So we're just going to give that a bit of a whisk. Oh, splash it all over the place as well while we're here. Okay, so let's bring the 2 together now. So let's pop all of those wet ingredients. Bowl's quite oily, so it slides out nicely. There we go. Give it a good mix to combine it all. You can do this in the food processor if you want to, or you can just do it by hand. Might even be able to use a hand mixer if you wanted to, but then you're going to have to pick it all out of the forks that you use. So probably go this way. Give it a good mix. Now it's going to be quite dry because ultimately this is going to be like a pastry that we're going to roll out. Okay, now what I'm going to do is pop this in the fridge while we make the filling. Okay, so we're going to make the filling. We're going to be using 1/2 cup of nuts. So we're going to be using walnuts and pecans. Now, if you wanted to, you could just use all walnuts. You could just use all pecans. So it's really up to you. So I'm going to pop a few more in there. It's not going to be a terrible thing. I've got too much filling, is it? So I'm doing a heaping cup of nuts. Now it says for these to be kind of grounded. but I don't want it like a paste. If you want it like a paste, then you obviously can. But I'm going to chop it up a bit, hence why I'm doing it in the food processor, just to kind of chop those nuts a bit. So I've got chunks of nuts, but I've not got a paste, because we are going to be adding in raisins as well. So I'm just going to blitz these. I'll blitz those now. I'm just going to show you the kind of, sorry, the kind of texture that I've gone for. So you can see there, they are kind of ground down, but there's some chunks in there too, and that's the way that I like it. If you want it finer, then do it finer, that's no problem at all. Or if you want it chunkier, do it chunkier. Okay, so we've got the nuts in there, and don't forget it is going to grind down a little bit more when we put everything else in, but I don't want to break it down too much. So, see me grabbing the raisins there, just going to guess the amount, that's what I normally do. But I'm trying to measure it out for you guys so that it's a bit more helpful. Okay, so we're going for 1/2 cup of raisins. So there we go, 1/2 cup of raisins, and then we want between 1 and 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. Now this is obviously down to taste, so this might make me cough. Cinnamon always makes me cough. Okay, so we're going 1. I am going to go for 2 because I do love cinnamon. And these are called cinnamon rolls, to be fair, so let's not be shy about it. There we go. Right, so the last ingredient we've got to put in is the honey. Okay, so we have 1/2 cup of honey. Where's that spoon I was using? Here it is. 1/2 cup of honey. There we go. Now it does say you can use between 1/4 cup and 1/2 cup, depending on your taste. So if you want it less sweet than this, then do 1/4 cup. But you can always do the cheeky taste test and add a bit more. I'm actually going to hold a little bit back because I don't want it sickly sweet. So I'm just going to pop that back in the container. Okay. Right, so let's give this a quick blitz. That's all of the filling ingredients: the honey, the nuts, the raisins, and the cinnamon. You could use sultanas in this if you wanted to. So this is the mixture. I've now combined it all, and you can see that it looks chocolatey actually, and that's the colour of the cinnamon obviously coming through. And so it's not chocolatey, it's cinnamony, nutty, raisiny, honey gloop, and that's what we're going to spread on the pastry type mix. So this is the pastry mix that we've got that has come out of the fridge now. The temperature for your oven, you're looking at 350, as is most things that we do on the baking side of things with Freefrom. Now, because we are rolling out a sticky dough, we're going to be going for some greaseproof paper to roll it out between the sheets, like we've done in a previous video when we did the chicken pot pie actually with the pastry. So a nice big sheet there, and then another one, cut that about the same size. Okay, just going to, this rolls around a lot, so I'm just going to roll it the opposite way. And then it stays put. Right, so I'm going to take this, get it out the bowl. It's stuck in the bowl. There we go. Just needed a bit of coercion. Right, or coercing. Now we're going for kind of an oblong shape. We want to keep it in kind of the same shape because we're going to paste the thing across it, and then we're going to roll it up and slice it, all right? So we do want some kind of shape to this, so there's some kind of method in the madness here. Now I've got a narrower end here, so if I fold this in first, because we're going to roll it all up together, if I have the narrow end here, it's going to get caught up within the rolls and that will protect it. If I did it the other way, then these would be hanging out at the end. So if you do have a narrower end, start with that end closest to you. So we're going to put the filling in now. We're just going to spread it all over. Okay, so that's that spread out. This mixture, by the way, you could also use for baked apples. You could put it in the centre of apples. Now, there is another way of doing this because this is quite laborious to spread out. You could heat it up and that would make it easier to spread. Or you could do it all separately. So you could blitz the nuts, you could put the honey, sprinkle the honey all over and just spread the honey, sprinkle the nuts, sprinkle the raisins, and sprinkle all the cinnamon, just sprinkle it on separately and then roll it up. So that's another way of doing it. I've chosen today to do it this way, and that's absolutely fine. So I'm going to roll it up now. Obviously it's on the greaseproof paper, and we're just going to fold this top bit here in first. We'd like to get that nice curl so that it looks like a cinnamon roll. And we're just going to try and roll it nice and tightly, just by pulling up the greaseproof, letting the greaseproof do the work. And just press a little bit as we roll it to keep it nice and tight. You can see just a little bit of an indentation where I'm pressing, so I'm not pressing really hard, but I am keeping it nice and tight. Now you'll notice I've not put the mixture to the ends, and that's because I don't want it to come out. So there we are. Now I am going to slice it, okay? Now at the ends here, I do have gaps. All right, now you could either save a bit of filling and fill the gaps, or you could just squish it down when you put it on the pan, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to cut this first bit extra deep. All right, and then the rest of them I'm going to do thinner. So it's about 1 inch what I'm doing these. Then we're going to put them on the baking tray with my favourite silicone sheet that I use for everything, and bake it for 15 to 20 minutes in the oven. Here we have the sheet, it's all ready. Now this piece that has got quite a long end, I'm just going to show you. So the filling is a little bit down there. So either top it up, or I'm just going to press this down and kind of fold it in on itself, because it is just so lovely anyway that that will be just fine. And any bits that do fall out, I'm just going to pop them in there. There we go. And then lay these all on the sheet to cook. They actually look at that. Yum, 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 yum. Can't wait to eat that. It's a long time since I've made these. By the way, this recipe, it comes from urbanposer.blogspot.com, and I'll add that at the end of the video so that you can go to that website if you wanted to. There's lots of recipes on there that you can try. So that's the last piece that again has got the edging there. I'm a big pastry fan anyway, so I don't mind having lots of pastry at the end of this. So there we have it. There's the cinnamon rolls ready to go in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes. 15 minutes has gone and they have come out the oven because they are done in my oven. They have cooked in 15 minutes and you're about to see them in all their glory because they do look really good. They're actually making my mouth water because I can smell them. The smell is just rising underneath me because they're right down here. So let's have a look. So there we can see lovely, lovely cinnamon rolls. They're still steaming. Oh, just look at them. They look so good. Okay, so we're going to have to wait a few minutes for the cheeky taste test because, and I am going to do a cheeky taste test because I can't wait to taste one of these, but the filling is going to be really hot. So I'm going to take one of these off and put it on a cooling rack. So here we are, they're cooled down and we're going to do a cheeky taste test. Okay. So. The filling is so good. So you bite into the pastry and the outside and it's sweet and warm and it's obviously not going to be warm when it's cold, but at the minute it's still a bit warm. And so it's sweet and it's soft and it's kind of crumbly, and then the filling hits you and it's sweet and soft and cinnamony. Oh, it's so cinnamony. Yeah, it's really good. So if you wanted to, you could sprinkle icing sugar on them, I guess, but they're quite sweet, so you might not want to do that because normally you drizzle icing over, don't you? You could drizzle coconut butter over the top. I don't see the point. Coconut butter doesn't really taste of anything. Might add a bit of moistness to it. You would want to have it with a cup of hot chocolate or a cup of tea or whatever because it can be quite dry. These are quite moist in the middle because of the filling, and it's really quite good. So enjoy your cinnamon rolls if you give them a go, and like, comment, subscribe, and if you want me to do a video, if you want me to replicate a recipe for you, then please suggest it. I'm happy to do that. I've had one suggestion of a cheesecake, and so I'm going to be doing cheesecake soon, and also Easter's coming up, so we're going to be having a go at hot cross buns, Freefrom style. So I'll see you next time in the kitchen.